societies in the Western world are now one of the most unequal, and in very unequal societies, what you often get is people try and rationalise that inequality, legitimise it by going, those at the bottom deserve to be there because of their own personal faults. So that's another reason I think we've seen this rise. But what I also want to do in the book is look at how working class Britain, if you like, has changed. You know, over 7 million people worked in manufacturing in '79, as I've discussed, that was attacked, manufacturing and other industries. It's just over 2.5 million now. So people now are less likely to work, obviously, down the mine, in docks, in factories, in steelworks, and we've got the rise of the service sector. And in fact, if I go back home to Stockport, that's where a lot of my friends would work. They work either in call centres or supermarkets. So there's as many call centre workers today, 1 million, as there were miners at the peak of the mining industry. If you take supermarkets, retail's the second biggest employer in the country. So that's kind of the new working class. It's different from the old, because again, not to get rose-tinted about it, but you don't have communities built around supermarkets and call centres in the way. There are more women who are in the workforce, but disproportionately concentrated in low-paid and insecure work. There's a lot more work's being casualised. I'm sure many of you have been temps, for example. There's about 1.5 million now don't have basic rights that other workers have. And also you get the rise of the part-time worker. So that's the working class Britain has changed in that way, if you like. And the old industrial communities, they never really recovered. And including in the New Labour period, where you didn't have secure work often to fill the vacuum left by the jobs that disappeared. So I went to Ashington, it used to be the biggest pit village in the world. People are still very proud of that. But it closed in '86, the mines, and lots of people I met have never worked since. And people who do work feel frankly privileged they've got any job at all. So in these old industrial communities, you've got large numbers of people thrown out of work, and then people often would attack them as the feckless underclass, people whose jobs and livelihoods were taken away from them. So what I tried to, and these are just kind of different strands of it, but this is what kind of the aim is to look at class prejudice, why it happened, and then try and look at some of the reality. The most important bit, as I say, is always the debate and the discussion. So I think the best thing is maybe just to hand it over to you and just see what people's thoughts on class and anything else is.